In the previous video, I talked about what we perceive as an appropriate set of requirements for a tool set to support a group of individuals doing a virtual systemic inquiry. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about some of the tools that we have in fact identified to this point, and some of their strengths and weaknesses. So if you in the mind mapping arena, Mind42, Debate Graph, and Co-mapping are all web-based, and all of the tools that I'm going to talk about are in fact web-based. That's a essential underlying requirement, and we're at a point now where we're not even considering anything that isn't web-based. So Mind42 is an utility for doing mind maps that does the typical spiderweb types of diagrams. It is multi-user, allows one to affix links and documents and things to the individual nodes of the mind map. Debate graph is, I don't know, you might call it mind mapping on steroids. You actually have to spend some time with it to get an understanding of the full power of it. It's really a nice offering. It's also free to support a group of individuals investigating the relationships between a whole set of entities. Co-mapping is actually in an outline layout as opposed to a spiderweb type of format. I personally like co-mapping. It just feels more comfortable. The spiderweb diagrams drive me crazy just because of the way that everything is in different places. I am more comfortable with the outline format. And co-mapping, even though it's not free, it's extremely reasonably priced. Insight Maker, I'll talk about Insight Maker for several dimensions of the tool requirements, in that it's a free modeling and simulation package. It was initially developed as a simulation environment, though we quickly found out that we could do a whole range of different types of systems models with it. So it serves quite well to do rich pictures. In the discussion arena, LinkedIn and PHP-BB. LinkedIn, simply, we have Systems Thinking World started there. It seems to work well as a discussion group. It's the typical sequential post after post, though for a particular discussion group you can have lots of different posts. PHP-BB is something that one has to host themselves. It's probably the most prevalent free bulletin board software used by an enormous number of people. MediaWiki, also free. MediaWiki is what systemswiki.org is based upon. Seems to be extremely capable. And in the next video, I'll talk about some thoughts we have on how to in fact integrate these pieces together into a tool set so that it is perceived as an integrated tool set, even though all the pieces come from a lot of different players. In terms of instant messaging, some of it simply text-based, some of it image-based if you want it to be. Skype, Gmail, and Uvu all have a free dimension to them. Some of them are more limited than others in terms of the number of people that can in fact communicate simultaneously and in which modes. And there'll be, I don't know, sometime in the future there'll be an overview video on each one of the different tools, talking about the specifics of the way that we have found to use them to contribute to doing a virtual systemic inquiry. For doing charting, this is charting other than the types of drawing that you find that one would do in PowerPoint or the drawing package in Google. Lucidchart and Cuckoo, both of them have a free dimension to them, which is not extremely sophisticated, though it does in fact give one a sense of whether or not that environment would support whether or not you're trying to do, so that you can evaluate the environment, and if it does in fact support some aspect of the inquiry that's being performed, you can in fact subscribe to it and get a more robust environment to work with. For doing actual simulations, also in SiteMaker, simply because I said it's web-based, free, multi-user. For doing the typical kinds of office documents for a text document, a spreadsheet, a presentation, a drawing, a rather simple drawing, Google Documents seems to fit the bill quite well, and it's free. For causal loop diagrams, also in SiteMaker, and as a presentation package, Prezi seems to be quite slick in terms of the ability to produce a presentation that can be very captivating as opposed to the rather stale kinds of presentations that are usually developed with something like Microsoft PowerPoint. So this is a set of tools that we've currently identified that seem to work well in support of a virtual systemic inquiry. And I think, as I said before, we are not presumptuous enough to believe that we have identified all of the requirements or all of the tools that in fact are appropriate to support an undertaking, though as we work through learning how to go about doing this, when we run into situations where we need something that's not supported by the existing tool set, then we will find additional tools to add to the set and add them to the description. So here's a set of tools that we've identified so far. There are links for each of these tools in the focus page for this presentation. Hope you found this interesting. See you in the next video. Bye.